Hi, this is Toby, and today I'll be showing you how to prune your epiphytic cacti. Now, I know a lot of you are wondering, do I need a prune? And it's optional. You don't have to. If you don't prune, your plants are still going to live. But I just like to prune to keep them looking better and better health. So we're going to start with this Epiphyllum angular, the fishbone cactus. And all I'm going to be doing is removing damaged parts. So you can see how this part is damaged. During autumn, there was a bit of caterpillars here, so it started biting the plant. So I'm just gonna remove anything that's damaged like that. That's just gonna be coming off. And even if it's damaged like that, I can still use these as cuttings. So I'm gonna save that for cuttings. And yeah, so I think that's all the pruning needed for this. There's nothing else that looks really damaged on this plant. You can see it looks quite nice. It's quite healthy. You can see all this new growth. This is all new growth, so nothing wrong with that, and that looks very healthy. So we're going to put that back now. You see, it's a very quick process. And now we're going to get another Schlumbergera, and this also got attacked by caterpillars. So anything that got damaged like these, we're going to have to remove. So we're going to cut it at the base where it joins the other segment. Be careful not to cut the tip of the other segment off, because if you see, that's where the areoles are, and that's where new growth is going to come out. So this, I can still save this one piece for propagation, so I'll put that aside. You see this also has a bit of damage, so we're going to cut that off, and it's already new growth coming out of the base of this, so I have to be careful not to damage it. You see this new growth there, so you don't want to damage that new growth. That's going away. Check if there's anything else that's damaged. If it's small damage like that, I don't really care. That's not going to affect it too much. So I think that's good. And now we're going to get some bigger plants. So this is a bigger Schlumbergera. And although not too much of it got damaged, this damage I could remove. And I think I will, because that looks really bad on the plant. If you don't remove it now, it'll be really bad. And plus, all this new growth is pretty small, so I'll remove this entire segment. And I can use this for cuttings, so we'll leave it there. Any old flowers that are still on the plant, you got to remove as well. So again, looking for stuff that's damaged that I want to remove. So I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Being careful not to cut the areoles off of the other plant, the other segment. These are fine, and you see there's dead flower buds. We can just rub those off. We don't need that. It's not gonna flower. And another thing I'm gonna look for is late season growth. And if you don't cut these tiny segments off, it'll look really bad on your plant. So you can see these are very small, so I'm gonna cut them off. These small segments, because they won't grow after they flower, so this is going to stay outside forever on the plant, and it'll look weird when you have big segments. All of a sudden you have a tiny segment, another big segment. So this is going to come, these all have to come off. That's coming off. Again, these can all be used for cuttings. See, these are all small segments. I'm going to cut it back to there. Same with this. In fact, I can cut this entire segment off because it's all small. So I'll do that. And remember, these can be used as cuttings, and I'll make a video on that separately. And this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. All this small growth, I'm going to remove. And when it starts growing, I'll show you what it looks like, the results of our pruning. We'll have a bunch of new growth. And you can see this small and damaged growth here, so that has to come off as well. This is coming off. This looks fine. This is a bit too small for me, so we're going to cut that off. And notice how I'm still leaving the areoles intact, so that's where the new growth is going to come out. So this entire thing has to be removed, because if you can see, this part didn't get enough light, and you need to remove these as well. I can just come in there without damaging anything else. Remove these thin segments as well, because they didn't get enough light. So same with the small one at the bottom. We remove these. There's a damaged piece here that won't grow up, it just came off by itself, so well, that's easier for me then. I think we'll have to, now we'll keep that. And that's pretty much it. It looks a bit different. I know once it starts growing, I will show you what it looks like. So we'll put that away. And we're gonna get my old Schlumbergera, or the oldest one I have. This is a Christmas fantasy, and I know it looks a bit unhealthy, but it flowers every year, so that's fine. And you can see these tiny growth I'll have to remove. Same here, we'll have to remove that. You can see when this didn't get enough light, I didn't remove this. It looks really weird, so that's too late now. Doesn't matter. And I'll see if there's anything else I need to remove. This doesn't grow that much each year, but it flowers a lot, so don't think I need to remove anything. And hopefully it puts new growth out this year. So I think that's it for this big guy. So I'll put him back, and this is one of my oldest Schlumbergeras, so that's why it looks pretty old. Put that back. And this is what we've pruned off of all of these plants, all of these unhealthy parts. And I'll show you how to grow cuttings. That's gonna be in another video. And again, this is completely optional. You don't have to do it to your epiphytic cacti, but it just makes them look a bit neater. And just, you know, in case you have any dying parts, it reduces the chance of it rotting the plant. So yeah, I'll show you how to grow these from cuttings in another video. But once these start growing new shoots, I'll give you guys an update. So here's an update of our works after clipping our epiphytic cacti. So now I waited a bit longer because not all of them will grow at the same rate, we all know that. And this actually started growing first, which is why you can see the new growth is a bit more mature. You see where I made a major cut, new branches are growing back, same with over there. Now, this other one also has started to grow. You can see the new shoots. Even on some of the older branches. Nothing there yet. Oh yes, in fact there is something there. I don't know if you guys can see. A little shoot. And even on my old Schlumbergera, I have 2 new shoots growing. I wasn't expecting this guy to grow that all this year. It usually only puts on 1 or 2 new segments, but it did, so that shows the effect of the pruning. And if I come here to my Epiphyllum angulager, you can see it's also new growth. This I think was last time, but last season's growth. Grew a bit bigger. Nothing yet on this. Don't worry, that's not rot, that's a bit damaged. That's fine. And yeah, if anything else happens, I'll update you. So here are the final results from our pruning. You can see with the white flowering Schlumbergera, the one that I pruned a lot of, the one with a lot of the damaged segments, has grown back a lot. You can see new growth. Even on this, there's new growth here. There's new growth on the new growth. So that's a very good sign. You can see very healthy. With this larger one, those 2 are new little segments, and another little segments coming out. You can see everywhere there's new growth. Even on my oldest Schlumbergera, the one that usually only grows a couple of segments a year, has started to grow again. So you can see just starting. Now it's not going to be as vigorous. You can see the new segments. Some there, not going to be as vigorous. Just a bit slightly older, so that's fine. I'll come around here just to show you this one and the other one we did, Epiphyllum, new growth on it. So with all the things I cut off, I put it in a pot to propagate, and this is going to be on another video that I'll be releasing soon. But I think that's about it for pruning epiphytic cacti. I've shown you what the results of the pruning would look like on different types of Schlumbergera. Even on my oldest one I pruned, and you can grow the cuttings. And even with older Epiphyllums like this, they do need pruning. I haven't had time to prune this. You can see some of the old segments. Those were the first segments I actually grew out of this plant, so I need to cut some of the dying ones back because those are pretty old. But you can do this with epiphytic cacti. I don't recommend doing this with any other cacti because they usually don't branch, like let's say an astrophytum. But even if they do branch, such as like gymnocalcium, I don't suggest you remove them, just leave it on. Only with epiphytic cacti because you can prune them and shape them like a tree. But remember, when pruning them, you leave their areoles on because if you cut that little part off, it won't grow back. So just remember that. And you can prune to whatever shape you want, and they will look fantastic when they flower in the fall. And I haven't made a video on how to get your Schlumbergera to flower, so I'll link that in the description below. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll try my best to answer your questions. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.